Patch 1.8 seems to be looming right around the corner and people aren't happy. A while ago I made a video on my thoughts of the upcoming patch and why I thought the game would be in big trouble with the addition of the optimization station. Some people agreed, some people didn't. We all have our own perspectives, circumstances, and opinions, so, I understand that. Either way, it was good to hear what you guys who actually watched the entire video thought. Now, it seems most people are angry with Rogue 2.0 at the moment and how it is in many's eyes going to kill the Dark Zone and the entire PvP experience. The PC community from day one of week one of the PTS were left scratching their head. Being that the PTS was out on PC way before the consoles, I didn't want to form any opinion based on somebody else's experience. I surely didn't want to try to make a video about something I had no experience playing. On this channel, I've always tried to, follow that path. Sure, we can get news about things, but I don't want to make videos on stuff until I've experienced it for myself. When I first got my first taste of 1.8, I had to laugh at the optimization station, but as many people commented on my videos about that, some people just don't want to spend any more time waiting for RNGesus to bless them with a god roll weapon or some god roll, armor or whatever. I can understand that, and if the developers want to normalize the gear and alleviate some of the grind, then so be it. And who am I to tell them how to improve their game? I mean, I understand that people have jobs and all that other stuff, but it does, in my opinion, still kind of take away from the essence of what the Division has built itself to be. Now, if it helps people to enjoy the game more, then there's nothing wrong with that. And as long as, there's content for people to enjoy this newfound power with, then I don't really see it as a huge problem. But sadly, we get no new incursions, no new story missions, and we can still enjoy these buffed, gear and weapons in the Horde mode and the Skirmish and Last Stand. Oh, wait. Those things are, those modes are normalized, right? The main argument for the optimization station was to make PvE content more manageable and give players with horrid luck a chance to finish content that they haven't finished yet. Since I've already said, my piece on the optimization station, I'll just leave it alone for this video. But when I asked you guys in my last Good or Garbage vendor reset video if I should say my feelings on this 1.8 patch, you guys said you wanted to hear my position on, what's really going on, and you wanted me to talk about it. So when I saw Predator's Mark, I quickly realized that PvP and even the PvE in the game often came down to two builds, either Predator's Mark or Nomad. And I just kind of had to laugh. I mean, sure, you could use Alpha Bridge, as a solo player for a kind of new experience. And yeah, you were pretty strong and all that stuff. But like many of you, I assume that, the two aforementioned sets, Predator's Mark and Nomad, would get, and maybe even some of the other sets would be tuned, better tuned, and they would be put in a more balanced place or nerfed into the ground as they usually do, like they did with Strikers. But when they didn't really have much news coming out, during this PTS, they weren't really talking about it that much. There were no new patch notes, and they canceled the State of the Game a couple weeks ago. I kind of knew something was up. And to be 100% honest, I've been, seeing the writings on the walls, and I knew for a while that this would either be the chance for them to come out swinging or and come out swinging and really do something to save the game and make people come back and get people hype about it. Or they would BS players into sticking around and tricking them into spending money on cosmetics. I'll leave you guys to make up your mind on which path you think they leaned a little closer to. But when the news dropped last week that nothing would be changed, balanced, or improved over the current PTS, it made me really feel like, what was the point of the PTS? I mean, when you have a patch that you're going to release and you have overwhelmingly negative feedback from your community, that you're asking them to test your game, and you still leave out like diehard players like my man Sailor Dan, who has, like, that guy, he has some crazy amount of hours playing the game. He's done amazing things in the game solo. And I mean, I would just, you know, when you have hardcore players like that, I have to ask, how do you expect the loyalist players to continue supporting a game that you seem obviously to want to kill off? The game has lost so many players and has kept a large amount of its fans off the hopes of, you know, living up to its potential. I've already made videos in the past about the potential of the Division and how we're still sticking to the potential, and we're so dissatisfied with the failure of not living up to its potential that we're just kind of like rooting for the underdog at the moment. And I don't know, but putting out a patch that you know people don't agree with, it's just it's like pissing in a glass and then calling it warm apple juice, and then looking at you smiling, say bon appetit. So by now, I'm sure most of you know that Rogue 2.0 is not highly regarded as an upcoming feature that the community is excited about. When I initially heard about the new system and changes coming to PvP, I thought pressing a button to go rogue seems a bit silly. And then when they said friendly fire was off, I was actually happy. I was like, oh man, finally. But that was one of the changes that I totally misunderstood. When the friendly fire changes and the mechanics of Rogue 2.0 were announced, I thought the safety of shooting your friends would be turned off, and that you could accidentally kill your friend or kill your teammate and anyone else if you didn't check your fire. And oh, how wrong I was about that. And I mean, I can't even lie, I was really disappointed to find out that that was not the direction that they were going. And to find out that they were going in a complete opposite direction of that, of what I thought, you know, basically would be a good idea. It was pretty disappointing to me, and I really didn't understand what they wanted the Dark Zone to be at that point, once I realized what they were really talking about. I've heard from some of you that you think being able to accidentally kill your friend is a bad idea, but a lot of people really do enjoy hardcore modes in shooting games. You know, like Battlefield had hardcore mode. I'm pretty sure COD, I'm not really a COD player, but I know you can kill your teammates in COD. Either on accident or on purpose. And you know, my idea is, if you're playing a shooting game and you're not watching your fire, it's kind of lazy. Of course, yeah, it's a video game, but still, I mean, it adds a little bit more realism to it. And you know, I think it has its pluses, and you know, for some people it may have its negatives, but kind of hear me out. The reason that I think having this, I don't even know how you would say it, but basically the ability to shoot your friends, it would end that whole body blocking thing of, you know, your friend, you know, getting like standing between you and two other people, and you shooting at them or they shooting at you. I think it would help with that. Maybe not end per se, but it would definitely help with that. It would push players to be more careful with where they shoot, and you know, in the thick of like a battle or something, like, you know, you got to watch where you're going, because you know, if your friend is about to die and you take him out, that's like, you know, the biggest fail, right? And it would require teams to be a little bit more skillful and have better communication, in my mind. Of course, if you disagree with me, you can kindly leave it for me in the comments. And then C, it would give solo players a bit more of a chance to take on teams, since the teams would be less likely to shoot when, you know, they're all bunched up in a tight space, or a teammate is in front of them. They definitely wouldn't want to shoot him because his health would go down, and the person they're trying to kill would be able to kill that guy even faster. And then, you know, D, it would lead to, you know, some pretty epic or funny moments that could, you know, bring more people in to enjoy PvP a bit more. But this is just one aspect of friendly fire and checking fire and having people be a little bit more careful with where they shoot. But now it's just like you can shoot anybody, and you can be completely stupid and annoying and just shoot people for no reason, and it's pretty dumb. I don't know anybody who's like really happy about that. And, you know, factor in that Rogue 2.0, you have to press a button to go rogue. That really seems kind of silly. Like, I don't really know, man. It just seems like I don't know what they were thinking when they came up with a lot of this stuff, but it just doesn't seem right. Of course, these are, you know, just my thoughts that I had about PvP, or at least, you know, parts of Rogue 2.0 in its PvP. And, you know, it's not the entire picture. I mean, I guess I would have to do a separate kind of a Cons Division PvP idea video to give you guys the whole scope of changes and additions, and, you know, just things like I'd like to see that maybe you guys could chime in on, and where I think the PvP should go, because these ideas that I have are just part of a larger picture. And, you know, I think I have some solid ideas, I think, for PvP that would encourage more PvP in the Dark Zone, improve the PvP experience, and make things a bit more focused, and lead to less circle jerking that we see a little bit too often. If you guys do want to hear my whole kind of, I guess it would be almost like a reboot of how I think the DZ and the PvP should go for the DZ, then definitely let me know. I've talked to No Love about this, and he seemed to be, he's more of a PvP player than me. I will never say that I'm the greatest PvP player, because I'm not. But I do understand how video games work, and I've played video games long enough to know that there are some games that they understand how things should flow, and they make it fun, and they make it accessible, and they give it a good enough reason to justify a lot of the things that they do. But the Division, especially in this Rogue 2.0 state, doesn't seem to have any of that stuff working for it. So if you guys are interested in knowing a little bit more about, you know, how I feel about the PvP and how we could reshape the DZ to make a little bit more sense and be a little bit more fun, and actually push combat between players, then definitely let me know, and then I'll get to work on that. Now, part of me wants to say that, you know, they dropped the ball with the DZ, but it really seems like they just left the game and went home and played a different game. Why wouldn't they change the game and listen to the suggestions of the community? That I don't understand that. Why would they release it knowing it's not what many people want? I don't understand that. Why would they ignore the fact that people are going to be ignoring like the standard high end or the basic gear sets for classifieds? I don't understand that. Why would they leave the game in such a state that only 2 classified gear sets really stand out to rule over the rest of them? I don't understand that. And why not change Predators, you know, from the bleed hitting so hard to at least make it so that, you know, any form of healing could wash away the bleed and you could have a little bit more of a chance? I, again, don't understand that. Why have they ignored all of what we've been saying for the past 3 or 4 weeks? I don't have an answer to that. I have my ideas about what's going on behind the scenes, but I can't say for sure, so I won't try to speculate. But if there is if things are the way that they are and they're going to be that way until the next patch or the next hot fix, I think most of us and most players have reached their limit. How do you feel about it? And I guess the question really is, do you want to drink some more apple juice? From a lot of the comments that I've read in some of my other videos, I know that there are hardcore players out there who probably watch this video and probably feel like, you know, I'm just pooping all over the game, and if I don't like it, I don't have to play it and all that other stuff. But the real honest truth is that a lot of us are fans of the game. I'm a fan of the game. I, like a lot of you, hoped that the game would turn into something amazing and unique, and it has been a very unique experience in a lot of ways. But I really don't see how, I mean, getting back to it, I really don't see how you can put out a PTS, public test server, and ask people to spend their time testing your game instead of playing the game that you made, or playing something else, or spending time with their families, or going to work, or being at work, or spending time with their kids, or going out with their friends, or going on a date, or whatever. You're asking them, and of course it's their choice to do or not to do, but you're asking them to test the game for you, give you feedback, and you give them a forum to propose all of this stuff on and say, hey, this is wrong. Hey, we don't like this. Hey, this doesn't make sense. Hey, this is OP. And then you just say, well, you know what? We're going to rock with it. I'll catch you next week. We're going to rock with it. Good luck. And I often get a little bit passionate about making like real talk videos, which is why I have to sometimes control myself about it. But I just don't understand, how is it you can ask your fans who've been so loyal and who've been down since day one to put up with this crap? The bugs, the issues, the glitches, the unbalances, the lack of content, the recycling of the same old stuff over and over again, and people grind through things they still don't have. I still don't have a full Centuries classified set, and I grinded the hell out of that global event. I got so many repeats of stuff that I didn't even want, and there's no way to get the things that you want like just by buying it or purchasing it. Why is it that the PS4 people had to wait so long to get the MP5 blueprint? You guys swear up and down that you're not in control of the vendor, and you can't. I'm calling BS on a lot of this stuff, man. There's a lot of stuff that can be changed and can be improved. And if that stuff is not really cost effective, or it doesn't work with the time schedule that, you know, maybe Massive has because they're working on Avatar, then so be it. If that's the case, then so be it. But, you know, just let people know what's really going on. So if they decide they want to spend a little bit more time with their family instead of grinding out some missions or whatever, then at least they have a little bit more informed kind of decision about what they want to do. And yeah, I mean, I know a lot of people will probably say, well, you know, that's just them doing what they want to do, or that's them not taking care of their friends and family or whatever. And I mean, it is whatever. People are going to make the decisions they want to make, but still, at the end of the day, if you've been lied to, or you've been only told half the truth, or you've been suckered into doing something that you really could have been doing something else with, then I kind of take offense to that. I kind of got a problem with that. And I've always wanted to stand up for the people who play these games and who spend money on games and who dedicate their lives to playing games and having a good time with games. And it just sucks that so many people invested so much time in this PTS just to hear, sorry, we're not going to change nothing. I love you all. See you next week. Let me know what you guys think about this. I'm going to chill for a minute. I'm going to try to calm down, but leave your comments in the comment section. I appreciate every last single one of you guys who stuck to the end and watched this video. If you did enjoy it, hit it with a like. It also helps out if you can share this. I'm not the largest YouTuber. I'm definitely not the most famous Division YouTuber. But most of you know, especially you OGs who've been around the channel for a long time, you know I've been doing this for a hot minute. I've been doing these kinds of commentaries for over a year and a half probably, and nothing's changed. I've called them out on their BS way back before they started pretending like they cared. Back when they just kind of ignored a lot of stuff. So if you would like to help the channel and you would like to get this message out, and you would like to get more people involved in showing their I guess unhappiness towards this state of the game, then do whatever you can to help get this out. Share, help, like, whatever. And I'll catch you guys in the next one. Have a good day. I'm Con Mr. So Real. Peace.
Con.